Governor MATAWALLE attends ONDO PDP Grand Finale Rally. Like in KANO State, HISBAH bans un-Islamic hairstyles dressing in KEBBI State. Senate demands probe of commercial banks over excessive charges. On business, Jais Bank boss hails GANDUJE for initiating Africa's first global market. And on the international scene, United Nations Development Programme, World Food Programme launched unconditional cash transfer program in Kano State. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Onyiyoza. Governor Bello Mohammed Matawale Marado of Zamfara State is among the People's Democratic Party governors that attended the grand finale rally of the party in Akure, the capital of Ondo State, towards the forthcoming governorship elections in the state on Saturday, 10 October 2020. Addressing the party supporters at the event, Governor Matawale said he was overwhelmed with the crowd he saw and expressed the belief that the PDP candidate, Barrister Tayo Jegede's son, will emerge winner of the election. Governor Matawale also called on Ondo people to come out en masse and vote for Tayo Jegede on the election day, assuring that all votes cast would be counted as was recently done in Edo State, which gave victory to the PDP. For more on the story, over now to our correspondent Peter Phillips.
He also called on the party supporters in the state to avoid any act of violence that will cause confusion during and after the election, noting that a level playing ground will be provided to all political parties by both INEC and security agencies.
I introduce to you the governors who are here. Crisis in the country is too much. The only way that God will help us and resolve the tension and crisis in this country is for Buhari to conduct free and fair, as they have done in Edo. We expect them, thank you, we expect them to do the same in Ondo. Not be so. Now, Akredole, stop rigging. You must stop APC from rigging.
Makinde mi dana,
Sheyi mi re o. Sheyo.
Sheyi mi dana,
Sheyi mi re o.
Sheyi mi dana,
Sheyi mi re o.
ah, eli kaka, kiki kaka, ọba onílé ọlá, Adonai Shaddai.
Matawale, who described the PDP flag bearer, Mr. Tayo Jegede, as an honest and sincere politician whose leadership qualities are acknowledged nationally, charged people of the state to vote wisely by casting their vote in favor of the PDP and its candidate. Peter Phillips, reporting for SVTV News.
Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State says there is light at the end of the tunnel as per the educational development of the children in the state. Alhaji Aminu Bello Masari was speaking during a courtesy call on him by the Children Parliament at the Government House, Katsina State. The governor remarked that listening to children making presentation with eloquent English make one to understand the investment in the education sector is yielding fruitful dividend in the state. Alhaji Aminu Masari was happy with the assemblage of the children by the Girl Child Department in collaboration with the Save the Children Foundation for the Children Parliament. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, on Tuesday listed some actions he believes the army can take to win the Boko Haram war. The governor, who was a special guest of honor at the 2020 Joint Chief of Army Staff Conference held in Maiduguri, Borno State, said the Nigerian Army, being the flagship of the nation's military, has all it takes to win the war only if it can reveal its fighting strategy. For more on the story, over now to Semira Ibrahim.
While commending the military for what he said was the recent improvement in troops' fighting spirit against the insurgents, the governor said the war could be ended in no time if the military, especially the Nigerian army, can change the war narratives. He said it is appropriate to command the army when it has done well, and we must also have the courage to tell each other the common truth and be critical to the troops' operations when things go wrong. He said his administration would not relent in giving the soldiers all the needed support to win the war. As part of the 10-point agenda of his administration, the Borno state government shall sustain its role as a stakeholder in supporting the activities of the Nigerian army through the provision of all the needed support and morale-boosting mechanism to all the security agencies to end the fight against Boko Haram crisis. Samira Ibrahim reporting for SVTV News Kusau.
Officials of HISBAH in KEBBI State have released fresh guidelines for residents of the state. The agency established to enforce Sharia law in some states in northern Nigeria has banned stylish haircut, sagging of trousers, and playing of music at social events by disc jockeys. For more on the story, over now to Shehu Magaji.
HISBAH also banned commercial motorcycle and tricycle riders from carrying out 2 women at a time. This is in addition to other unusual directives rolled out by the Islamic police. HISBAH recently made headlines for shaving stylish haircuts of young men in KANO, arresting people for improper dressing and seizing tricycle from riders for adorning them with pictures considered to be obscene and against the tenets of Islam. Despite condemnation from Nigerians, the group has continued its push for Islamic agenda in the north. Obscene and punished youth wearing 3/4 jeans for improper dressing. Shehu Magaji reporting for SBTV.
The Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, on Wednesday welcomed the judgment of a U.S.-based tribunal which ordered Inter-Ocean Oil Company to pay the federal government $660,129 as reimbursement of its share of the arbitration cost. Reports said that the U.S.-based International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes, headed by William Park, ordered Inter-Ocean to pay the federal government $660,129. The tribunal also absolved the federal government of Nigeria from any liability, maintaining that Nigeria did not breach any of its obligations in the contract agreement with Inter-Ocean Development Company and Inter-Ocean Oil Exploration Company. In a statement issued by Omar Gwandu, Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations, Office of the Minister of Justice in Abuja, Mr. Malami described the judgment as an addition to the multiple success stories recorded in international litigations by the Federal Ministry of Justice. Mr. Malami, who renewed his commitment to patriotically and relentlessly discharge his constitutional mandates in the best interest of the nation and general public, said gone was such an era of connivance to deprive the nation of its resources for gratifying ulterior motives of vested interest at the expense of the Nigerian populace. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje of Kano State has directed the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission to be neutral in the forthcoming local government election, slated for early next year. He gave the directive during the swearing-in of the newly screened and appointed commissioners of the electoral umpire during the State Executive Council meeting at Africa House, Government House, Kano State on Tuesday. The governor assured the electoral umpire that nobody would interfere in the operations of the commission before, during, and after the election coming up soon. For more on the story, Peter Phillips report.
The governor said the State Electoral Commission is bracing up for the local government election coming up early next year, and the government resolved to make the commission complete for immediate operation. Governor Ganduje said they have the remains of only one commissioner who will also be screened by the State House of Assembly. The governor assured that Kansiek must be complete for good and smooth operation. Governor said he called on them not to be partisan, even though you are appointed by the All Progressive Congress government. But when it comes to work, don't be partisan. Peter Phillips reporting for SVTV News, Gusau.
President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the new Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, and advised him to be the leader of all. Following the announcement on Wednesday, President Buhari said in a message to the new emir that he congratulates him on making history by becoming the first emir from the Malawa ruling house in 100 years. For more on the story, over now to Rahama Ibrahim.
The president said he deserved the appointment and expressed the hope that he would justify the confidence reposed in him. According to the president, while you bask in the glory of the moment, I want you to be the leader to all and treat all your people fairly in the performance of your duties. He advised Ambassador Bamali to use this opportunity to unite all members of the ruling houses for the interest of the people. He prayed Allah to grant him the wisdom and guidance in the discharge of this responsibility. I am Rahma Ibrahim Dosara reporting from Standard Voice Television.
The Senate has mandated its Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions to cause an investigation into illicit and excessive bank charges by commercial banks operating in the country. This was even as the upper chamber urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to look into the complaint of Nigerians in this regard, with a view to reviewing downward all charges on their bank account. The resolutions were reached sequel to the consideration of a motion sponsored by Senator Patrick Abamoro, PDP, Benue South. The lawmaker in his presentation noted the Senate became concerned following several complaints from Nigerians over illicit and excessive charges by Nigerian commercial banks on customers' accounts. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has withdrawn the corruption charges against a former executive director of the First Bank PLC, Dauda Lawal. Lawal is facing corruption trial for allegedly handling the sum of $25 million out of a total of $153 million doled out by Dizani Alison Madueke, a former Minister of Petroleum Resources in Nigeria, in the build-up to the 2015 general elections. Over now to Shehu Magaji.
The case involving $153 million fraud against Nigeria was withdrawn by lawyers acting on the orders of the new management of the EFCC headed by Mahmoud Umar. The court consequently discharged and acquitted Dauda over the allegation against him. At the last hearing, the prosecuting team sought an adjournment of the case to Wednesday on technical grounds, but rather than resume prosecution, opted to discontinue the trial. The EFCC lawyers informed the court that the withdrawal was based on the need for further investigation and that the defendant ought not to be charged alone but with others who are currently at large. While prosecuting the case, a first prosecution witness told Justice Muslim Hassan of the Federal Higher Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, how he delivered 12 padlocks bags containing $70 million to an Abuja-based banker on the instruction of Alison Maduke. The witness, a former group general manager, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, gave the testimony before Justice Hassan on Wednesday, July 8, 2020. Shehu Magaji reporting for SBTV.
The Justice Ayosalami-led presidential panel probing the suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, has rejected a request by Magu to invite the President's Chief of Staff, Ibrahim Gambari, the Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, and Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ibers. Others who were supposed to appear before the panel include our former chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Lamode, the Director General of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, Modibo Haman Tukur, EFCC's Acting Director, Directorate of Asset Forfeiture and Recovery Management, Mr. Aliu Yusuf, an EFCC lawyer, Balasanga, and a former EFCC official, Isa Dogoyaro. Report had it that the Salami-led panel had drafted a subpoena address to the Naval Chief, Minister, and others to appear. However, it was learned that the panel made a U-turn and decided not to invite them anymore, following the refusal of the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, to honor his summons. President Muhammadu Buhari has declared that all necessary measures have been put in place to ensure that the October 10th gubernatorial election in Ondo State is peaceful, transparent, and credible. President Buhari also assured the electorate in Ondo of the provision of adequate security to forestall any breach of the peace by unscrupulous elements. For more on the story, over now to Sumaya Ibrahim.
In a video message to party supporters at the grand finale of the All Progressive Congress (APC) campaign for the Ondo governorship election, the president urged the electorate to turn out en masses to vote on Saturday without fear of molestation. He expressed confidence that the party supporters will vote in accordance with the laws guiding the electoral process. Urging the electorate in Ondo to vote for continuity and progress, President Buhari explained why Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, the APC candidate, deserved re-election. The president said the APC candidate is a good brand for his ingenious approach to governance.
God willing, he is going to be the winner a week today. People of Ondo State, please make up your mind. Those of you that are here, talk to your immediate relatives, to your neighbors, and to all your colleagues in the state, that there is no turning back. We are here all the way from all over Nigeria to show our support and solidarity for him and for you.
Similarly, governors elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, including former Zamfara State Governor Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari, has resolved to ensure that the loss suffered by the party in the last Saturday Edo State governorship election is not repeated in Ondo. It was gathered in Abuja on Friday that, unlike the scenario which played out in Edo State, where most of them were alleged non-committed to the party's campaign effort, the governors have resolved to ensure that the party does not suffer the same fate in Ondo. Sumaya Dosara, reporting for Svtv News.
Still to come your way is the business and the international news, but before then, a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back on business. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Jaiz Bank, Hassan Usman, appreciated the KANO State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje's wisdom and foresight in initiating and diligently executing the KANO Economic City project at Dangwaro Road on Zaria Road, KANO State. He made this known at his briefing during the State Council meeting held at the Africa House, Government House, KANO State on Tuesday in the presence of the Governor, his deputy, all commissioners, other council members, and the management of Brains and Hammers Company handling the project. Alhaji Hassan Usman explained that development of market is usually initiated by government in all places, but because of the enormity nature of government responsibilities due to shortage of resources, that tradition suffers setback in many places. But because of the patriotic and diligent nature of Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje in governance, His Excellency had found a way of initiating this signature project of KANO Economic City with the Jais Bank and brains and hammers. This is commendable in all fronts of human endeavors. And on the international scene, to cushion the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic in Kano State, the United Nations Development Programme, with World Food Programme, Japan and European nations, launched unconditional cash transfer in Kano State with 9,600 families, 2,500 small and medium enterprises as beneficiaries from the state. The kick-off of the program marks the beginning of SDG Week in Kano State that will be featuring the distribution of 200 hospital beds with their accessories, mattresses, side drawers, pillows with cases, 2 ambulances, 20,000 KN95 face masks to health facilities, among others. Resident representative of the UNDP, Muhammad Yahya, who spoke during the occasion at Africa House, Government House, Kano State, on Monday said the program was aimed at helping those badly affected by the pandemic, while revealing that the UNDP, through the One UN COVID-19 Basket Fund, is supporting communities deeply impacted by COVID-19 to cushion the effect of the pandemic through step-up action to protect the very vulnerable. He commended Governor Ganduje for his effort in providing palliatives to the vulnerable. He said it is gratifying to note that 9,600 families and 2,500 SMEs will benefit from this program, with 460 million naira in Kano State alone, as part of the total sum 13 billion naira earmarked for the country. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Governor MATAWALLE attends ONDO PDP Grand Finale Rally. Like in Kano State, HISBAH bans on Islamic hairstyles dressing in KEBBI State. Senate demands probe of commercial banks over excessive charges. On business, Jais Bank boss hails Ganduje for initiating Africa's first global market. And on the international scene, United Nations Development Programme, World Food Programme launched unconditional cash transfer program in Kano State. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garba Tunao. I still remain Musa Joy Unyoza. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.